So we're back again, another Help Me Professor Kensou. This is more of an interesting one as far as I'm concerned. This seems like more of a mindset type thing. So we're gonna get right into it. And this comes from J-Dog. J-Dog asks, switching from an MVC style fighter mindset to the Arxis style Marvel fighter mindset. Basically like what it takes to do this, right? Like mindset versus mindset, right? So I think starting out, the foundation of these games is still relatively speaking the same. Like they're still tag fighters. They still have, you know, a lot of the general functions of a tag fighting game. Like you're not really going too far out, but it's more of a few things outside of just mindset. I'd say execution wise, specifically movement, because combos are combos, right? You just get used to whatever the combo engine is of the game, and then you're kind of sort of good to go. And whatever other limitations and constraints that exist in said game, you're gonna get used to them as you play. I think movement wise, it is a lot less linear. And it isn't to say that like Marvel was linear in terms of movement either. The way jumps and dash jumps and inertia is handled in Arxis games is way different than Marvel vs. Capcom, right? How you move and how you approach is different. So you have to think more about that a lot more in Arxis, I think, than you do in, say, Marvel vs. Capcom. Because let's say in MVC3, for example, it isn't to say that, you know, characters were linear with their movement. That's not the case. It's just movement momentum plays a fat role in Arxis games in general. Flight mode, way different. How you activate flight mode is just hold up on a jump. You know, MVC, you gotta do an actual input. How fast they move in flight mode, etc., etc. You know, coming out of flight mode in Marvel, if I recall right, a lot of times you couldn't use your dash. I think in Marvel 3, I could be wrong. You can correct me in the comments or whatever if I'm incorrect there. But in Tokon, since you jump and you do what you do, you still have access to your double jump. You still have access to your air dash, and it still holds on to your dash inertia. So when you do dashing, it jumps. So I think it's more about changing your mindset around movement first and foremost. I think that's the first step, truth be told. As someone that primarily, you know, is known for Arxis games, that's a big thing, is you gotta get used to the movement. Now, from another mindset you might have to change in particular might just be like how you view assists, because the way Tokon's assist game works is a bit different. The concept is the same, but it is different. So the execution surrounding them, how you counter call, you know, having, you know, double jump into an aerial, you know, projectile assist is different. So it does really adjust how you play in terms of counter calling, in terms of how you just pretty much do everything in terms of neutral game with your assists. The other part of it too is it's just, you really got to get used to the system, and just, you have to do the one thing that's very important. You cannot compare Marvel vs. Capcom to Marvel Tokon. They're two separate games. If you go into it thinking Marvel vs. Capcom, you're just gonna, you're setting yourself up for failure. You should accept the game for what it is. That's another part of the mindset. You have to play the game that is in front of you. If you play the game that's up here, you're not going to be able to play the game that's in front of you. So you have to focus on what's in front of you, right? Because if you focus on what's in front of you, then you take the foundation of the game and you start doing more in terms of like building blocks, putting yourself in the right position to think about like strategies and theories. You theorize Marvel Tokon. You don't theorize Marvel vs. Capcom. Two separate games. This is why I'm saying like the foundation might be the same. It's still different how it works. How assists come out on time versus Tokon, how assists, just the assist system alone is different. Then if you want to go into the attack streams only being 4 hits limited, you have 3 assists on top of your point character. Like it's so much to think about. And you should constantly be thinking about how to play the game. I can't stress enough, thinking about Marvel vs. Capcom and how to play Marvel vs. Capcom doesn't always apply. Like you have to shift that. That's the biggest like mindset shift that needs to happen. Like if you keep equating previous game to new game, you're just gonna hurt yourself. You should always isolate said game for what it is. Now, what you can do from previous games is pull whatever it is, right? And when I say whatever it is, I mean that very like, I don't say too loosely here, but like you pull concepts and see if that concept from previous game applies here. So for example, safe jumps apply to pretty much every 2D fighter with Dragon Punch and, you know, invincible moves. You know, there's always going to be a set amount of frame data you need to know to get around a wake up reversal, right? That's standard. You know, checking invincibility frames. So like on a tech roll, you know, can you throw punish the tech roll? In Tokon, you cannot, because there's a lot of wake up invincibility frames, so you can't be touched. So then that means now you have to shift towards using meaty buttons. Now, I've seen some people complain and be like, oh man, I wish I could punish a tech roll. You can, it's just not the way you want it. If they tech roll and you want to hit them, you can't. That's not how the game works. And then complaining that you can't do it is not going to help you improve. Again, play the game that's in front of you. Oh man, I wish I could throw it like 2x KO. Trust me, I do too. But I have to play, just like you, Marvel Tokon. Marvel Tokon says do it this way. This is what you have to do. So it's about taking like concepts that you are aware of and applying it to the game, and kind of hitting it like a checkbox. Like, okay, tech roll system. Okay, so we'll say forward tech, back tech, up tech, and like neutral get up, right? They all have different sets of frame data. How do you deal with each one of these? Does neutral tech have invincibility frames? You know, you should be going through your checklist. This way you're not attaching too much of the previous game. You see, like I said, every 2D game has something that you can pull from, but you don't need to fixate on it too heavily, if that makes sense. Like, don't be like, oh man, the assist isn't the same as this. They've gotten it to the point to where assist is very close to like what you're used to already. So it's like, take what you got for right now. That doesn't mean, and I want to make it clear also, doesn't mean you don't express your opinion about these things, right? That's okay if you do. But like, the biggest thing is to change this. The minute you start to change this, it gets easier. You just start to accept that, okay, this is how it works. Because you're a fighting game player, right? Part of being a fighting game player is, or even a gaming player in general, is to solve puzzles, right? Use your critical thinking. You should be critically thinking about how the game works. You can't always bend the game to your will. You know what I mean? Like, the developer is only gonna listen to so much before they decide this is enough. So before it gets to that point, you should start to figure out how it works first, and then if it doesn't make sense after that point, then it makes a bit more sense to have those, stake those claims. Or if you feel that way in advance, I mean, you could, but again, the game's coming out now. You know, they're not gonna bend it to your will. And if they don't bend it to your will, how long are you gonna wait to actually play the game? You see what I'm saying? You could have already been getting good at the game and not having to worry about that. Sometimes I'll be like, well, I'm not gonna play because it doesn't work like this game, so I'll wait till they make it that way. You might be waiting for a long time, if forever. You know, at that point, it feels like just go play Marvel 3. The scene is still pretty strong. They have the custom MVC that they do all the time with TNS and stuff like that. So it's like you still have an outlet for Marvel versus Capcom if you just want to play that way. And like, please understand, like when I say this isn't a disrespect to anyone or even you who are asking these types of questions. It's just, you have to be objective and just be honest with yourself. If that's what you're looking for, it's okay to go backwards. People are like, there are ways to facilitate that, and you don't have to be upset because the game doesn't work for you. It's okay to just say, all right, you know what, it doesn't work. Tokon doesn't work for me. They're still doing Marvel tournaments over here, it's fine. Or there's still a way to play Marvel 3, that's fine. You know, without saying too much more, I think that's kind of just the way to go about it. Like, play the game that's in front of you, work on it, and keep trying to like mix and match things that you know and see what holds up and what doesn't, and try to find a way to like evolve also what you know. You know, like it's okay to be like, well, this doesn't work right now, I don't know, maybe I'll try to figure it out. You know, I will say this for sure with what I'm saying, hopefully it reaches you, and just know that you have the ability to do it. You know, just stay positive about it. Try not to get in too much of a negative headspace, because it's just not going to help you down the road. If you want to be good at it, any game for that matter, just change your mindset and try to stay as positive as you can, and you'll go far, I believe. I appreciate you submitting to the professor stuff. I appreciate you taking the time out to submit this to me to be able to talk with you about it. Any more questions, you know what to do. Put another request in, I got you. Anyone else, I'll supply a link down below to the request form, so let me know. And that'll do it for this one. Thank you, J-Dog, for your submission, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Deuces gooses. Deuces gooses.